lovelies, welcome back to my channel. My name is Liz and I post a lot of beauty related content here on my channel, and at the moment I'm posting Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday and Sunday. So if that's the kind of videos you like, then please subscribe down below and hit that notification bell, because in today's video I'm doing another full face of Primark. So some of this might not actually be new, just because I did do a full face already and I've probably used up most of my new products, so there will be some oldies in here. So let's just get straight into this. The first thing I'm using is this Natasha Denona dupe. Now this is in the shade Berry Bite, and this is what it looks like. It's got what, like 2 mattes, 2 shimmer with mattes and a proper shimmer at the end. These have got like slight shimmer, so I possibly could use them anyway. So yeah, we're just going to put a bit of Beauty Bay eye base on. I've put you guys a bit further away today, so let's see if that... I'm just not completely happy with my setup, but we'll get there. I'm going to go straight in with this shade here and just put that in my crease. My hair is doing whatever it wants to do this morning. I'm like using this massive Peaches P723. P7, PC. A lot of kickback as well. Then I'm going to go in with this slightly purpley shimmery colour. Slightly shimmery in the crease as well. Nah, that's too light. Let's add a bit of this cool tone brown to the ends of my eye as well. And then just whack the shimmer all over my lid. It looks like there's not much I can do with this shade, this palette. Which is fine, because it means it's just an everyday palette. And my brush has got a lot of pigment on there and a lot of fallout. That was my fault. It's not really shimmery, so I want to take this like icy white shade here and just put that... I don't feel like that's shimmery. No, it's not really shimmery. It's just a matte look. I can't really see much glitter in there. Just gonna blend out these edges. I'm not sold on this, really not sold on it whatsoever. I already did my eyebrows with the brow pomade by Primark that you know I love, so we can use maybe a purple shimmer from this palette, maybe this shade here. This is the You're My Jam palette, so yeah, do you know what, I'm gonna use that all over the lid and let's see if that works out. Much better. And I'm going to blend the edges with that purple. So glad we saved this look. Now I'm just going to put these Girls With Attitude Glamour lashes on. Love them. Sort out my eyes, and we are going to prep my base with this lovely thing. I love this little primer, so we're going to use this again. These eyelashes, even better than the last ones. They're a little bit more longer, whereas the last ones were a little bit shorter. They're perfect. They're absolutely perfect. I love them, literally love them. So I have put my primer on already. Now we're going to use the foundation and contour stick in the shade Nude. I haven't actually ever owned this because I can never find my shade. Finally found my shade, so we're going to use this, and then I'm going to put on the new foundation powder. I'm very excited to try that, so I'm going to use that as a powder, because you know what I'm like, I just don't like foundations as a powder. I feel like they work better as a powder than foundation. And this is a perfect colour match for me. Works better with a brush. It's definitely not full coverage, but works really well. So I'm going to put another layer on, and then I'm just going to use my beauty blender to melt it into my skin. So definitely with that foundation, use a brush and then use a beauty blender to get rid of any foundation lines, and that worked perfectly. Gonna go in with Primark's cream bronzer in Bronze Whip. Got a good old stippling brush. Then what I'm going to do again is the beauty blender, just to make sure it's all melted nicely into the skin before I set it. I feel like using a beauty blender just gets rid of all the harsh lines that you might have. And now I'm not going to use concealer because I just don't feel like it. I'm going to use the foundation powder. I have it in the shade 313 Warm. This is what the packaging looks like, and that is the shade. I'm just going to use it how I would use a powder, really. Set under my eyes nicely. Oh, you're not going to be able to see my bronzer through this because it gives a lot of colour. Okay, so I find it a little bit patchy, but do you know what? once you put bronzer on and everything, I don't think you'll realise it. So I am just going to go back in with the bronzer, and we're going to use the Primark Bronze Glow in the shade Fearless. You know I love this. It's looking a bit better now. You can't really see the patchiness. Now let's put on my old In the Pink blush. That, remember I said I had a new one? I've used that, so I'm going to use the old one now. Then I'm going to take this little palette for highlight, and I'm going to take the centre shade. This was £5, which is much better than my other full face where it was £7 for the highlight palette. Lovely, lovely highlight. I like it. A bit dusty as usual, but do you know what? Use a beauty blender and melt it into your skin. My dog is now crying because my brother's come home from work and she wants to go and see him, so gonna have to let her out. I've dropped so much makeup on the floor, it's unbelievable. Okay, now let's do lips. Do I do this shade Passion? One of the Powder Luxe ones. Yeah. And for inner corner highlight, let's just go in with this shade from this palette. So this shade here. This is the finished look. Now this whole base, this whole face is Primark, which I'm very happy with. I actually really like the look. I'm not sure about the lip now because it's not as red as I thought it would be. It's more neon pink, but I love the rest of the face. I'm not too sure about that powder foundation. That is the only thing I'm a bit iffy on, to be fair, because it went a little bit patchy, but now everything else is on my face. It's not that patchy anymore, but it does go a little bit, so maybe I will try it as a foundation next. This palette is such a dusty disappointment. It's so annoying. Like the purple that looks really shimmery is just not that shimmery at all. It's cruelty free, it's vegan, it's £3. Like you'd think it would be such a good palette, and it really isn't. I had to actually use this palette to get this look. So in the end there really wasn't a point in that palette, but using them two combined is actually okay because there isn't like a brown shade in here that I could have used. So using them two combined, I don't mind doing that because come on, this is like £3 and this is like £3 too, so £6. That's not too bad for a little palette to use. The shimmers just were disappointing in that little Natasha Denona dupe, but they were okay in the £9 palette. So yeah, the lipstick is really nice. You can feel that it's a Powder Luxe lipstick, but it's nice and movable and creamy. The foundation stick, absolutely love it. Do use a brush and then blend it out with your blender, like pat it into your skin. I've forgotten how much I love this bronzer and this bronzer combined. Perfect. And I bet if I use a transparent powder or translucent powder, it would have been so much better. The highlight palette I've dropped on the floor. There's a lot that I've dropped on the floor, sadly. Really do like it. It's a bit powdery, but once you use your beauty blender, it dusts into your skin really nicely. So what more can I say? I've got a full face of Primark on and I'm in love with it. So I hope you guys did enjoy this. Please let me know by giving this video a huge thumbs up, subscribing down below, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye guys.